Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers Studio Series MTMTE collection, or More Than Meets the Eye collection, I guess. Hot Rod. Voyager class. You can see him there in front of the box. We'll go ahead and put it offside real quick. Yep, it is a Target exclusive MTMTE, I'm saying MTMTE, MTMTE collection. That's easier to say just MTMTE, even though that's not really a word. But yeah, Transformers right there on the Studio Series blue band right there. Transformers movie and Hot Rod. Hot Rod. You got of course, the artwork of him both in his car mode and his robot mode, holding a fish, a whopper, all right. You got Hasbro logo right there. You got the 29 steps to get from car to robot and all that stuff. On the top, you have the car, Tomy, and Autobot Hot Rod, and well, the Transformers Le Film. What the hell does that mean? Anyway, you got Hot Rod right there on the side with his name and everything. On this side, you have, I guess, a little bit more of the extra arc. Plus the 40 years anniversary of the 86 movie, and it says Voyager class right there. On the bottom, you have what's included, manufacturing details. And of course, on the back, you have copyrights and warnings, a couple product shots, including, hey, there's his fishing and his other things. There's the picture of him fishing with Daniel. Unaware of the impending Decepticon threat, Autobot Hot Rod spends the time fishing with Daniel near Autobot City. Also got the nice little cool lines on there from the, again, it's the special Target exclusive thing. And you have the instructions here, which are pretty okay, and also, although they kind of implied that for him to hold one of his accessories, you have to use another thing, which you don't have to do, which is weird. It's a weird thing to do, but yeah. They kind of gloss over one aspect of one of the accessories, but yeah, regardless. Hot Rod! Yeah, I'm going to try to make this kind of quick because, well, I've reviewed this figure twice already, and this is a straight repaint, so, yeah, this is Hot Rod is a bit different. He's more, I guess, movie accurate because he is, as you can see, magenta. Magenta. Yeah, getting close, you can see he's still got his hot roddy face with a little silver crest. He's got the magenta instead of the red. He's still got orange and yellow right here with the Autobot symbol and everything. He's got the little silver vent details or whatever. He got the orange and yellow down here on his wrists. He got the silver pipes right there. There's the orange and the yellow, and also now there's some paint down here on the lower legs as well. You got the gray right here. You got more magenta on the back because of how he transforms and everything. Of course, you got his big old yellow spoiler and a smidge of a backpack, but nothing too egregious. And yeah, some nice bits of paint right here and everything. And he looks lovely. See these? So yeah, this is just a straight repaint of the previous Studio Series 86 Hot Rod. No major changes to the mold itself, or at least there shouldn't be. It's basically the same figure as before. So all the same posability in the head and everything, and the ball joint and the sockets right here, and this, the shoulders everybody hates, and the butterfly and all that stuff is still very much here as it was before. Go see that video if you want to, get the in-depth stuff on all this stuff. But yeah, the big thing here, other than that, is of course some people have been mentioning there have been QC problems. Supposedly. Basically things like actually broken toys and like loose parts and stuff. Mine doesn't seem to have any of those. Mine actually seems to generally work even mostly better than my previous Hot Rod, so go figure on that one. Even these bits on mine actually tab into the back of the legs properly, unlike my previous Hot Rod. They actually tab in. I'm very happy about that. Yeah, it's basically the big difference here is the colors and everything. Heck, even a lot of the accessories are the same, but yeah, he still also has this thing. Some people complain. I think there's one complaint that this is really stiff on theirs. It's fine. There's no real issues here. It all works just fine. So his little goggles still work and everything. But yeah, his accessories are largely the same as the previous ones. He still has his two rifles. Now there's no paint on. They don't put as much paint on them, so the tab parts on the sides don't get scuffed paint. Although it kind of still looks weird, but you can see it's just painted silver, and there's the magenta plastic, and of course, holding those, no problem, as before. You see, you can hold both of them are going to be held just fine. You have to make sure to, move the fingers out because, yeah. So still has those. He still has his saw blade right here. Still is pretty much the same. Still has the little, I guess, whooshing details inside the disc. That, of course, you can just, flip that around the left hand here. You just, flip that around just like before. And plug it in and everything. Got that, and of course you can still flip this hand around, the right hand. Open that up and flip that around, and hey, look, now you got the little welder torch for when he's fixing cup. Those are still there, which is nice. And now, he fell over because I knocked him over. He still has a matrix, but it's completely unpainted. It's just entirely blue. I guess representing the energy coming out of it, but yeah, it's just entirely unpainted blue, but it's the exact same matrix as before otherwise, sculpting wise anyway, but yeah, it's just now translucent blue. And you can hold that. Of course, holding that is still kind of a bit of annoyance because you have to kind of slip it around his thumbs and everything. But yeah, you can hold it in various ways like that, but yeah, pretty much just kind of wrapped around his thumb, wrapped like that. But that is kind of it. When it comes to the stuff he came with prior, now there's the new accessories, and there's the big thing here. The new accessories, including, of course, the fishing pole. Yep, the one he caught that whopper with. It's just molded grade plastic. There's a hole in the side, but that's for storage reasons. This doesn't spin or anything. It'd be cool, but, it's going to be kind of spendy. Yeah, and of course, that can, either hand just, pop out, opens the hand, and just, pop it in like that. And he's holding it, and he's ready to fish. Thanks to his posability, you might be able to, you can kind of, get him like ready to like, cast that, cast a line and everything. You just kind of be a little careful about it. But yeah, you can totally, you can see you can try to get it ready. So there's that. That's one of the new accessories. And the so from the beginning of the movie, and another two accessories, which are from the later part of the movie when he's on the shuttle. His shield with a nice little flaming hot rod thing, and a little, I guess, beam sword, practice sword, whatever it is, thing. Which, yeah, this is not exactly super well detailed in the instructions, but yeah, this thing, there's a little hinge here, so there's a peg there, which that can peg into his hand, like that, so he can hold the shield. And then this, you have to, because of its shape and everything, you have to open the hand and pop it in. If you don't drop it. You have to open the hand and pop it in, and there's his new accessories, which do look pretty good actually. They're really nicely painted. This has got a nice finish on it. It's very got a very kind of bit of a shine to it, which is nice. It looks very good. They look very good in general. And as for accessory storage, there is still pretty much the same stuff as before. There's these tabs on these slots in the back. Which, for this, what you do is you're supposed to, take the guns and slot them in first. And before you slot them in, I would very much recommend before you slot them in to start going ahead and putting the accessories on specifically for storage. I'm going to put this one like this way. For example, you put the matrix on, like this. On that, and then you tab it in. This just makes it easier. Because if you do it different, if you tab these in first, then start trying to peg stuff on, 9 times out of 10, stuff's going to go flying. And then, with the fishing pole, you can, peg this on to the other gun, peg it on right there like that. And then tab this in as well to the other side. Just like this, so the guns are just like before. So you can see there's the slots on this thing, which to go on the tabs on the gun, just like the previous one. But now there's no worry about, damaging paint in the process, because there is none. And as for the sword and shield, you can see there's a little slot on the I guess the sword part. You see these little tabs on the back of the shield there, and that you just tab the sword into either one of those. Doesn't matter which one, just pick one. And then this right here, this peg right here goes into the peg hole right here. You can also use these tabs to go in the slots there if you want to go really far back, but yeah. And this all together, it's not the super greatest connection, particularly at the guns there, but it lets him pretty much carry everything on his back, which is nice. Everything, every accessory he has can be carried on his back. Kind of almost like a rucksack of sorts. So, there you go. That's the accessories. Yeah, the big ones here, the big new things here are the new ones are this fishing pole and the sword and shield, which are pretty cool, but yeah. Pretty cool, but yeah, the one accessory, they removed an accessory from the previous version, which is very much the effect part for the Matrix. And they also made it so the Matrix is no longer painted. But as for some measurement stuff, because I never actually did the measurements the first one because I wasn't doing them at the time. His height to his top of his head is about 5.5 inches or 13.9 centimeters, and his weight is 2.4 ounces or 68 grams. Now, so one quick comparison. I'm just going to do one comparison just because to make this go fast. I've already reviewed this guy. Here's the previous version. Yeah, here's the previous version of Hot Rod. You can see, again, you can see the different colors. Very easily see the difference in colors here. This one's obviously more pinkish, but there are other differences as well. The oranges are slightly different. I'm not sure how well this camera is picking up. This orange is much more saturated. The oranges are much more saturated in general. The grays down here on the shins are a bit different. You can see again the painting on the lower, top of the boot there. And the yellows look like they're pretty much the same. There's some other differences you'll see in the car mode, but yeah, it looks like they might be slightly different finishes on the like pipes and stuff. But the gray is pretty much also the same as well. And they also both have Tennessee State ports and everything. So yeah, that's the difference between the figures. You can see again. You can see the difference in the figures. As for the accessories, yeah, these are functionally identical, though you can see those shades of, you can see the shades, I'm just swapping around because to match the figures. Yeah, you can see the shades on the actual, like, the handle part are a little bit different. That's interesting. You can see the difference in the guns. You can see, yeah, the silver finish is pretty much the same, but you can see, the ones that came with that hot rod have the silver all the way around. So yeah, these had a tendency to get all chipped up and stuff if you use the storage or whatever. So there is that. And yeah, you can see the difference in the matrices. Same sculpt, but one's painted, one's not. So I guess that's something I had to give in the budget, considering I guess the extra accessories. So there's that. Another thing, yeah, the previous, again, this rubbery plastic, which is still compatible with, it is still fully compatible, by the way, so you can, if you have the previous hot rod, you can still use it, so there is that. So, yeah, that's the comparison section. Yeah, it's a noticeable difference. So yeah, people have been clamoring for a more screen accurate hot rod with magenta colors. Well, here you're in luck. It's here now. I'm gonna get this guy transformed real quick, and then I'll show off the robot mode, or show the alt mode off a bit. And yeah, by the way, if you want to know how to transform them again, look at the old video. It's the same exact transformation. And yeah, it's pretty much more of the same here in the alt mode. You can see, basically, again, a lot of magenta here. It's still pretty much the same exact shape as before. You got the blue, very nice blue windshield right there. You got the little engine picked out in silver. Yeah, you got, of course, still got the knees just chilling out at the back there. Kind of almost more egregious now because of that extra bit of orange, but, you know, robot mode accuracy. One thing I will note is mine here, that for whatever reason, the back end does not quite fit together as well as the previous version I have. I have no idea why, but the front end, this stuff right here fits together almost perfectly compared to my first release. But yeah, this one, the back end though, likes to pop itself, not pop itself, but like you can see the pipes aren't quite connecting everything. When I try to force it, often this bit right here will untab it, this bit down here will untab itself. So I don't know actually what's going on, but you can see, yeah, to that, and it untabs itself, and then I have to pop it back in, and then it just doesn't quite line up, which is a little annoying. I don't know what's going wrong here, but it just doesn't quite want to line up. One thing you also may notice is this hinge right here is no longer yellow. It is cast in a magenta plastic, which means it pretty much color matches the rest of the car. Hooray, if that really bothered you. Yeah, he still rolls pretty decently, if, well, a little weirdly wonkily sometimes, but yeah, he still rolls, although, yeah, these wheels have a lot of friction, I'm noticing. Sensibly should roll anyway. Although the ground clearance is very minimal. And these wheels that wheel does not want to hook up. You can see the wheel hooks up just fine. So yeah, it's just this one wheel right here doesn't want to. Yeah, you can see this wheel really does not want to spin. So on this surface, it doesn't want to go anywhere. But of course, regardless, it looks pretty good. Although yeah, that just came undone a bit. It looks pretty good, even if mine doesn't quite want to fit together. I'm not having any issues of things breaking or whatever. Yeah, all the joints are nice and solid, I should say. The transformation is still pretty good. And for, again, as for accessory storage, it's largely the same story as it was on the original hot rod. Again, you just you have to peg those on, and also you'll definitely want to, peg those onto the guns before you tab them into the engine. And same with the this. You'll very much want to peg it onto the gun before you tab it on the engine. It just makes it easier, because otherwise, again, as I've personally discovered, has a tendency to just kind of explode. And of course, this can still tab on right here as well to the guns. At least it's supposed to, and though sometimes it's a little uncooperative and does weird things. But yeah, you can do that. And of course, this stuff right here, what you do with this is, yeah, use these tabs right here. Once you have this folded out, you kind of slip the this under the saw blade and tab it into the roof, and then make the whole car buckle. Yeah. And there's all your storage. On a sports car, where someone who's didn't really think about their trip before they actually realized how much stuff they're going to be taking with them. So yeah, that's the storage solution. Largely similar, except unlike this time, every accessory can store on him, unlike the previous one, which where the blast effect could not store on him because of all that stuff. So yeah, real quick measurement stuff again. In this mode, his length is 5¼ inches total. That includes the tip of the spoiler, by the way, and 13.3 centimeters. Yeah, so again, here's the original release of Hot Rod, or Studio Series Hot Rod. Again, you got the yellow hinge right there, and I think these might be slightly, I'm not sure. I think they might be the same shade of blue. I can't tell them. Maybe not. It's hard to tell because it's one of those things where it might be, it's being influenced by the color around it, but it looks like it might be the same shade of blue. But yeah, you can see the front end, you can see on this one, on the old one, you can see the front end doesn't quite line up perfectly. It's because no more noticeable gap, but there is gapping on the back end of my new one right here. You can see there's more gapping on the back end. And I'm not sure what's causing that, because I don't know if there's something misaligned or what. Oh, yeah, one other thing I forgot to mention, which is, yeah, these pipes right here, when these pipes right here that spin around and go on the forearm, they do kind of lock in a little bit nicer on the new version than they did on the previous version. So I will note that. Yeah, there you go if you're looking at it. So as a whole, that's the other thing. So yeah, that's a whole, is should you get this guy? And the question, and the answer to that is, it kind of depends, is one, of course, the big thing is, do you already have the first one? If you already have the first one, it kind of makes it a little harder to justify, which, yeah, unless you really, really need the magenta version, it's harder to justify buying this over the first one if you already have it. If you don't already have the first one, there's still kind of the question of, well, how much does the magenta matter to you? Because that's the other thing is, in the US at the very least, this is a Target exclusive, and it's already becoming kind of difficult to find, already kind of difficult, a little difficult to get. Target selling out and everything. This has been going in and out of stock at Target.com, and I was able to snag it eventually. But yeah, it looks great. I'll be honest, say that. But yeah, it is an exclusive, which means there is an extra complication there. So how much does the color matter to you? And also, how much does the fishing rod and like sword and shield accessories matter? These are the big things. The magenta coloring and these specific accessories, how much does those matter to you? If you don't care about the coloring that much, if you're okay with a red hot rod, the old one will suffice. And on top of it, if you don't have the original, if you don't have this hot rod right here, if you don't already have it, the good news is it's probably going to be hitting the market, and probably for fairly cheap, as people, dump their old hot rods for the new one here. But yeah, if the magenta coloring or these particular, the fishing rod or the sword and shield there are really important to you, you're going to have to want to try to hunt this guy down. And unfortunately, it becomes a real chance that within the next few months or so, this will become you're paying aftermarket prices, and that's a scary thought, because who knows? It's already, again, that's the other thing is we're now at the new Voyager price point, which is $43 US, and for the same Voyager, man, yes, they did manage to add a couple extra accessories, but they also removed one. Granted, one that was also, people weren't really happy about because it was rubbery plastic, but it's still a removable accessory. But they did add 3 new ones. Again, there's been some QC reports, but it seems like those QC reports might have been largely relegated to just a small handful of just really unlucky people. Because after the first few people were getting there, there's a lot of people reporting, like loose joints and broken things and stuff. But after that, a lot of people going, yeah, mine's fine. So it might have just been just an unlucky, just a bad batch. I don't know, but keep your eyes on this, because mine seems to be okay. Other than just the back end doesn't quite fit together properly for unknown reasons, but nothing's broken. So yeah, that's kind of where it comes down to. It's still a fantastic toy overall, but the price has gone up, and it's an exclusive, which means it's going to be harder, but the original version will be a lot easier to get now. And yeah, so it really comes down to that, how much you really want this magenta. So that's it for this review. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my social media down in the description and at the end of the video. Check out my Ko-Fi and Patreon. And I'll see you next time with another video review.